Hey guys, I know it's been a super long time since I have posted an update. I think the last update that I did was weeks 4 and 5 of pregnancy. I am now like I'm 8 weeks and how many days? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 8 weeks, 3 days. So just a little update. Everything has been going really well. I'm sorry, my lighting here is not so great. I'm just sitting on my couch right now. My 4 boys are at my parents' house for the weekend, so there's a little bit of quiet time. My husband just went to take a shower, so yeah, just chilling. So, funny story, today, if you're wondering what we did on a day where we didn't have children, so my husband is looking at buying a Jeep, and he wants like a Jeep Wrangler. So, I don't know what it was today. We had the worst luck. We went to 4 separate dealerships looking. So there was one Jeep that we really liked. We went. My poor husband must have driven 200 miles today. It's ridiculous. But we went to 4 different dealerships. Two of the times, one of the Jeeps had just been sold, and then the next time, one of the Jeeps was literally being sold as we wanted to look at the car. And then the last time, there was a car that we wanted. It said it was in one town at a dealership. We get there and they're like, oh no, it's at our sister dealership, which is like a couple of miles away. So we ended up driving to the other dealership, the sister dealership, and they were like, oh, the Jeep is at, so this Jeep that we looked at, my husband wasn't even super interested in it because it was kind of out of our price range. But it was just so ostentatious and so ridiculous. It was like a highlighter green Jeep. It was very eye-catching. So I wanted to see it. But when we got there, it ended up being like the dealer. It's one of the like really high ups at the dealership. It's his own personal vehicle and he's selling it, but he's still driving it around. So that kind of pissed me off. But anyways, so we will not be getting that one. We did not see that one. But anyways, we went to 4 different dealerships today and saw 0 of the cars that we wanted to see. So anyways, with that being said, welcome to my week 6, 7, and 8. I guess this is technically a recap of week 6 and 7. So these past weeks, I've been feeling really good. I honestly can't complain. I do feel like I've been having a little more, maybe like slightly more nausea around weeks 6 and 7. And I think as of this week, it's kind of been going away. The worst thing that I've been experiencing lately, and this is TMI and I'm so sorry, but I've been getting like random bouts of diarrhea, and I don't know if that's because I haven't been eating as well as I usually do, and it's because all the foods that I'm craving are just like carbs. And I don't know if it's just that like I'm overdoing it. To be honest, I haven't weighed myself since my last doctor's appointment, which was Tuesday, August 20th, and it is now August 31st. So 11 days I haven't weighed myself. So I guarantee you my weight is into the 140s, probably in the mid 140s at this point. When I weighed myself at my doctor's appointment, I weighed 139. And I know I've just put weight on because I haven't been eating the best and I haven't been drinking enough fluids. So I need to really like step up my nutrition game a little bit for this babe. But I don't know, carbs are the only thing that have really sounded appealing to me lately. I've definitely had some food aversions. Heightened sense of smell is like horrific right now because everything, like today, when we were driving to one of the dealerships, we ended up driving under a bridge and there was like new tar and we had the windows down. And I don't know how to describe it. The new tar smelled like mothballs. I don't know if you guys know what those smell like, but it's just like this horrible chemically, it was a horrible scent, and it like instantly turned my stomach, and I actually almost like I felt stuff coming up, and I like managed to kind of like I was like, nope. I didn't throw up, but like literally it was on the cusp. So I have not been physically I haven't thrown up once this pregnancy, so that's awesome. But I'm one of those people that I really do luck out during pregnancy, and I don't get too much not like vomiting. I would say my nausea's been mild for sure. But in terms of other symptoms, I mean, I've had like mild cramping, just like normal twinges and stuff, just things growing and shifting. and extreme fatigue. Those are really the only symptoms that I've been experiencing. So I feel very fortunate. And yeah, that's really it. In terms of cravings, like I said, just carbs, and I have wanted like sugary things. Like for some reason, like within the last week, I've gotten 2 coffee culottes, or I don't think they call them that anymore at Dunkin' Donuts. They call them frozen coffees. So I've gotten 2 of those, not on the same day. I'm very diligent about keeping my caffeine intake under 200 milligrams a day, which is what you're supposed to do when you're pregnant. So I've been good about that. But yeah, I have been craving, like, my thing that I had to have this weekend, or today I should say, was a cupcake, which I got, and pizza, which I got. So, as you can tell, not healthy things. But yeah, I mean, other than that, things are good. And in a little bit, I'll take a bump shot. But as you can tell right now, I'm literally just laying on my couch in my cozy sweater and just hanging out. Is there anything else I wanted to update you guys on? Oh, my first appointment. So I did have my first appointment on August 20th. I had my first ultrasound. We did confirm that there is only one baby, which is, it's exciting. I'm not going to lie. Part of me was a little like, I don't know, just the shock of having twins was just such a cool experience. I was a little like, oh, there's just one in there. But to be honest, it's nice that I'm going to be able to focus my attention on just one baby this time. And I will only have to deliver one baby this time. I'll have to carry one baby this time. So I'm hoping that this pregnancy is kind of like a piece of cake compared to my last twin pregnancy. Although I do now have obviously 4 children to keep up with instead of 2 when I was pregnant with the twins. And my children are super duper active. So I don't know. I feel like I've just had different challenges and different phases of life during each part of my pregnancy. Yeah, I am.
Okay, I'm not gonna come down. I'm naked.
Oh. My husband, like I just said, I thought he was showering, but I know he was on the phone with his mom, and he almost just came downstairs naked. So you're welcome. Glad he didn't come down. But yeah, so at that appointment, like I said, I just kind of did my health history with the doctor, which is typical. We went over the fact that this is my 4th pregnancy. I know what to expect. I didn't have to have a PAP because I was up to date on that. They did just do like the typical swab though. They have to swab for like STDs and stuff like that. All of my testing, I checked my patient portal actually just yesterday, and everything came back normal. My urine looked good. My blood work looked good because after the appointment and the ultrasound, I ended up going for my blood work just because I had somebody to watch my kids, and I was like, I got to get this done now. So blood work looked great. The only thing that did concern me, and I actually sent a portal message to my OB. I saw one of the nurse practitioners in the practice, and she's awesome. I've seen her multiple times throughout my other pregnancies. But I noticed that in the report on the pregnancy, I was only like 6 weeks. I think at the time I was 6 weeks, 5 days is what I was measuring. The fetal heart rate was 147, which is good for 6 weeks, 5 days. That's like, I feel like that's early, but that's a really strong heartbeat. And then, like, let me show you a picture, actually. So the baby, like, you can't really see much because I was so super early. Like, you can't assess anything with the placenta. But this is our little Bean, is what we're calling the baby right now. Just Bean. But this is baby. Just literally this teeny little... It was definitely still in the tadpole phase when we had, hold on, let me just put this down for 1 second. Okay, baby was still in the tadpole phase for sure when we had that done. You can't really see anything really. So yeah, Okay, so the only thing on the ultrasound that I guess on the report, they didn't even make mention of it while we were there, but obviously after they do the ultrasound and take the images, the radiologist did mention that I had a small subchorionic hemorrhage, which is basically when there's like a pocket of blood that forms between your placenta and the baby. I believe that's where it is. So it was small, and they mentioned that it was small, and they did give the dimensions. So obviously I Googled a little bit about it just because I had never had that with any of my other pregnancies. And what I Googled, they ended up saying that this kind of hemorrhage or hematoma, it's just basically like a collection of blood, and it can occur when the placenta adheres to the uterine wall, and then it could like detach a little bit, and then it reattaches, and it can cause like a pocket of blood to form. And sometimes it's concerning if it's large. Like my OB said that they really monitor ones that are 4 to 5 centimeters and above. And that's because the bigger a hemorrhage is, the more likely that it could cause your placenta to actually disconnect from your uterine wall. And then that does unfortunately cause an abortion to the baby dies virtually. It aborts the pregnancy because the placenta, which sustains the baby, separates from the uterus, which means that the baby's no longer getting any of the blood flow, the oxygenation, the nutrients from mom. So it kind of was like, thinking about it, it is kind of a big deal. But so I sent a message and I said, is there any type of follow-up that I need to do? Is this something where you have to do an ultrasound in like X amount of weeks to ensure that this type of hemorrhage resolves itself? Because with my research, usually the small ones, they say within like 1 to 2 weeks of when you have your imaging, your body does reabsorb the blood. So kind of think of a bruise. Like your body will eventually heal the bruise, and the bruise goes through the stages of like color. And like usually when it turns yellow, that's kind of like one of the final stages, and then you can't see it anymore. So it's similar. And I just didn't know if there was like additional imaging that I needed to do, if I had to have an ultrasound to follow up on the bleeding. And my OB was great. She got back to me and she said, typically my practice's policy is if the bleed is 4 to 5 centimeters or greater, they will definitely do ultrasounds to follow up on it just to make sure it resolves itself or gets smaller and doesn't get bigger. Because like I said, if it gets bigger or is not resolving itself, then there is an increased risk of abortion or fetal death. So she said in my case, it is something that's very small. Mine was less than 2 centimeters. So the next appointment I have is this coming Thursday. Right now it's Saturday. So at that time, they'll use the Doppler to try and find the baby's heartbeat. And obviously, if we hear the heartbeat, that's very reassuring. I don't know when my next ultrasound will be. I don't know if it's going to be the 18 to 20 week anatomy scan. I also don't remember what I've mentioned in my last videos, but we're not going to find out the gender of this baby just because it will be our last baby. So regardless, if it's a boy or a girl, it doesn't matter. I know we already have 4 boys, so a lot of people are rooting for Team Pink. I don't know, to be honest. I think a lot of people think that I'm going to be super upset if it's a boy, and I almost kind of want a boy, if that sounds ridiculous, just because I don't know, I'm so used to boys, and like, I don't know, I'm just used to boys, and I don't really know what it's going to be like to have a girl, and I'm not really I don't know. I feel like if I have a girl, she's going to be such a tomboy. I was a tomboy growing up. I did all the sports and stuff, and then I started to like girly things as I got older. So like I started to get into makeup, like probably not until I was not even really in high school. I would say like I started to really enjoy makeup when I was in my 20s. And then I started to get into kind of like clothes and fashion, not fashion, because I still don't know how to dress, let's be honest. But I started to get into like home decor and things, like obviously as I got into that stage of my life where I owned my own house or my own apartments and stuff like that. So yeah, that is about it. If you guys have any other questions, please let me know. Leave them in the comments down below. I think we actually have some visitors right now because our friend is supposed to be coming over. Actually, our friend Rob and his brother Joel. So yeah, if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'm sorry if the lighting is really crappy. I'm just literally relaxing. And yeah, like I said, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment down below. And really quickly, I'm just going to do a quick little bump shot. Like I said, I know we have visitors coming any minute, so let's try this one more time. So This is 8 weeks and a few days. This is what we look like. So yeah, that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.